Hi everyone, nice to see you again, I guess. Um, so I haven't updated in a while because I've been going through a lot of life crap. Um, and I'll make a whole other video on that. But right now I'm here to talk about cochlear implants in me. Um, and so, quick rundown for those who don't know. Um, I've always been pretty deaf. Um, and I've kind of resisted wearing hearing aids in general because they're really not comfortable for me. Um, I couldn't have the receiver and canal hearing aids when I first got them because they popped right out of my ears because I have really small ear canals and they also itched and poked at my ear canals painfully all the time. So I couldn't wear those. And so I switched to regular BTE behind the ear hearing aids, which have worked a lot better in terms of comfort because I have full shell ear molds and soft silicone, and so they're a lot easier to insert and they're a lot more comfortable to wear. Um, but what I don't really talk about much is that I'm really not comfortable wearing hearing aids in general because of the way the sound hurts my ears. um, I recently had a hearing test just a couple of days ago and found out that my hearing has pretty much gotten a bit worse. Um, so for everyone to see, woohoo, that's me all the way down there at 110 roughly decibels at the worst. And that up there is normal. These are speech sounds, and this is my hearing. So pretty crappy. Um, but um, but yeah, the whole reason I don't really wear my hearing aids unless I absolutely have to is that they're just really uncomfortable. The ear molds I can handle, but it's the actual amplification of the sound that is really uncomfortable for me. Um, the I can basically feel it vibrating my eardrum, and even mild amplification up to like 70 decibels is fucking painful. Um, so the only time I really wear hearing aids are, excuse me, when I'm like sitting around hanging out chatting with my roommate when it's more important, or when I'm at work. And I'm not working right now, so it's not really a big deal, so I wear them even less than usual. Um, I also wear them when I go to doctor's appointments and that sort of thing. But other than that, I don't really wear them. Um, so, the thing that what I'm talking about are cochlear implants. And, I guess my main reason for getting them are that even with current amplification with hearing aids, I'm getting a lot of benefit, but probably not as much benefit as I could get if I went for implants. I find myself, just kind of nodding and going, yeah, totally. If I can't understand somebody, especially if it's in like a noisy room, in McDonald's, if it's even just outside, I just kind of nod and go, uh, you know, social bluffing as you do when you are deaf or hard of hearing. Um, I'm usually okay with hearing aids in a quiet room with one person, but the second that anybody else talks with them, I basically can't hear either of them, and it just sounds like a garbled mess of people shouting at each other. Um, so, I have an appointment with a new audiologist on the 22nd of August. I made the appointment to readjust my hearing aids to my current audiogram. Which I had the hearing test for the first place because I noticed I wasn't really hearing anybody talk. I could hear women better, but men I wasn't hearing like at all. And I would just go, oh yeah, and I would say, oh that sucks, depending on whatever their facial expression showed. So I figured a hearing test was in order, and I was right. And so I'm going to talk about cochlear implants with this audiologist and try to get on that road. Um, but I'm nervous because I worry that you know discomfort from amplification is not a valid enough reason to go for implants. You know, um, and I mean it's not just that. I'd like to hear better in general. Um, I feel like I do have a lot of trouble hearing people, even with the hearing aids at full volume, especially because often I get distracted by the loud sounds in my ear. Um, and I feel bad. Like, I'm going to be really, really honest here. I love my roommate, don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore her. She's amazing. But we think she's hard of hearing too. And she kind of shouts like at the top of her lungs all the time when she's talking. So if she comes near me or we're in a smaller room, it kills my ears, and I will like leave the room to avoid her voice. It isn't that her voice itself is painful; it's the volume from her voice when she's shouting that makes it so painful. So I tend to kind of do that jerk thing and just walk out of the room and be like, oh, I have to get something. When I don't really, I just kind of need a break from her volume. Um, so I would really like to be able to converse with people without being in such discomfort. Because even now, my hearing aids are probably only at I think 70 decibels amplification. So I know I'm definitely not getting, anywhere near full benefit from them. Um, but I know also that I would probably hear speech a little better if they were turned up. But I don't want them to be turned up because it's going to hurt so bad to wear them, and I'll end up wearing them even less. Um, so that's the first topic I'm going to broach with the audiologist when I see her. I know that whole sensitivity to sounds that are not considered painful to anyone else is called hyperacusis. So I at least have a word for it, and I know what to say when I get in there. But I don't know. And I also have to consider funding because I know that I'm on Medicare, and that's the only insurance I have. And I know that Medicare doesn't really cover a lot of stuff, and it may not cover implants for me, especially bilateral ones, 2 of them. Because I absolutely would really hate to be unilaterally implanted. That would really, really suck. And I don't know if I could handle being unilaterally implanted. It would just be really uncomfortable, and it would just kind of suck to be turning my head to one side all the time to get it into my good ear. So that's something I gotta talk about with my new audiologist. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of gotten way ahead of myself, and let's just say everything goes amazing, and insurance covers bilateral implants and everything. I'm excited but also nervous about it because I know it's going to sound different from hearing aids, and I know it's going to be kind of a hard and long process. But I mean, I'm no stranger to stress. I'm not. I've been stressed out my entire life. So, you know, going through with, major surgery is really not a big thing for me. I'm not worried about surgery. I'm really not. Um, I mean, I got freaked out when I had my wisdom teeth removed, but that was primarily because I have a really bad thing about my mouth. I don't like people putting things in my mouth. I don't like having things in my mouth, ever, pretty much. But I'm kind of excited to broach this topic with an audiologist. I broached it before with my last one, and it went okay, but I eventually kind of backed out of it, and I was just like, I'm fine. I don't need this, So I eventually just kind of decided, whatever, it's fine. But now I'm actually more excited than nervous. I'm excited about it, and I don't know, yeah. I don't know, I just really hope everything will go okay, and I'm really, really looking forward to, the appointment and everything, and seeing what she says. She'll probably want to do a whole nother hearing test, which is fine, whatever. But yeah, we'll see, I don't know, we'll see. Other than that, I don't really have tons going on in my life right now. I'm not working anymore right now. So I'm pretty much just kind of hanging out, applying for other jobs, and just kind of making it through life as best I can. That's really about all I'm doing. The main thing in my life right now is a cochlear implant thing. That's like the big thing for me. So, come August 22nd, I'll probably make another video after that to talk about how it went. And I guess expect a life update video within the next month or so. It's kind of hard for me to really say because the only thing that's been going on in my life is something that I don't really think I should talk about at this current time. I'm not even really going to say whether it's good or bad. It's just something I really honestly don't think I should talk about currently, until I talk to some other people about it. So expect a life update video in the semi-near future. It's probably not going to be super great or anything, but depending on how this talk with some people go this coming week, you might expect it sooner rather than later. And I can talk more about it, and it depends. But yeah, other than that, not much going on. Yeah. But for those of you out there who are deaf and use cochlear implants, or even just one cochlear implant, especially if you have used hearing aids in the past, I would really love to hear your experiences as thorough as you can give it. I'd love to know how everything went for you. And if anybody's got like funding resources out there, like charitable organizations, nonprofits, anything like that, that would be fantastic. So leave links down in the comments below or something. But yeah, other than that, not much, and I think that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this 13-minute video before it becomes a 14-minute video. So thanks for watching. See you later.